What's up, everybody? Patrick here from wpbuilderhelper, and in today's video I've got some kind of rather disturbing news. I'm noticing a trend with everything, and it's not the trend you think, because there's some stress and things going on right now in the WordPress community. There's some inner conflict that's happening between two groups. And, it is what it is. I am going to talk Cadence in this video, but it's not what you think it is. In this video, we're talking about WordPress. And even more than that, we're going to go as far as talking about the future of WordPress and what I think is going to happen and what I'm really, really worried about going forward into the future. So I'm going to do a little bit of a blend of both. I'm going to have some things that I'm going over in this. So let's get started, and let's hope that this doesn't happen. Alright guys, so here we are inside of the WordPress.org library, and as you can see I've got Elementor here. And when you're looking at this, I want to point out this is not an indication that anything's going on, but whatever. We're looking at data. That's what this is going to be a video about. So looking at this data, we can see that Elementor has 5 million websites, active installs. They're doing pretty good. They're getting a lot of downloads every day, and this is just for the free version. This isn't for the paid, so who knows how many active installs they have on paid. But when you look at this growth chart, you can notice Elementor is kind of on a trend downward right now. Now, they're not doing bad by any means, especially when we start looking at the other page builders that are on this list. But when we're looking at this growth chart, we can see that page builders, or at least Elementor, which if you want to call it the king daddy of page builders, are kind of on a trend downwards. And so let's look at some other page builders. We've got Page Builder by Site Origin. Now they're on a trend upwards, but you can see they're at a negative 4% growth since, since May. So they've really been, they've been trying to make up some ground. They were at negative 4%, now they're at negative 1%. So they're really trying to climb out of a hole. But for the most part, when we're looking at the growth, even the total downloads, you can see it's kind of wavering a little bit. It's kind of that chart starting to tilt downwards. So then we take and go to Beaver Builder. And once again, this is kind of, it's there. They're getting downloads, but you can see there's spikes here and there. But for the most part, it's even higher negative growth than the other page builder, which is just amazing. Now it is clawing its way back up, and as of currently, it's only at a negative 0.3% growth. And then you look at Brizzy, it's kind of climbing a bit. It's got a lot more downloads that are happening, probably because people are talking about a lot more. Still nowhere near as many as Elementor, obviously, because it's got 70,000. And it does have a positive growth, which is good. It's showing that it's growing at about 1%. And so we'll look at King Composer and we'll see kind of the same thing. Oh, look, it's kind of sliding. Oh, look, it had negative growth for a while, and now it's kind of upwards into a little bit of positive growth. So what does all this mean? Well, I've noticed a strange trend, and I'm sure that you have too, if you're anybody who's been dealing with anything that involves Gutenberg or WordPress. But Gutenberg, because of the speed indications, has become one of the more popular options for building sites. And now we're getting all these Cadence blocks, we just got GP blocks, and we're just getting more and more pro block features. And as these people keep coming out with block features, my theory, and something that other news articles have mentioned, is that I think we're going to start to see page builders start to slide. And someone would basically say, okay, why is that happening? Why would we care if page builders slide? Why does that make a difference? Because I think that we've reached the tipping point with page builders. I mean, somebody could come on and say, no, that's not true, we haven't. But I really do think we've reached the tipping point with page builders. I think page builders were a cool fad. and they were kind of going on, and now the newest fad is Gutenberg. Now, does that mean that page builders are going to go away by any means? Well, let's take a look at Gutenberg, and you'll see why I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Gutenberg is getting a number of downloads, but look at these abysmal ratings for the number of people who hate Gutenberg. It also has positive growth, but you can see that growth is slowly trending downwards also. So then you'd go back and you'd say, okay, well, if page builders, okay, it's getting downloads, that doesn't mean anything. Well, it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. It just depends on the way you read this data. So, if I'm looking at Elementor for me is more of a growth thing than anything else. Now, Elementor has stayed in positive growth for a while. They've constantly been in positive growth, which is a great thing because Elementor is just one of the big daddy page builders. But you look at the story with all the other page builders and you just don't see that. They're climbing out of this growth span, but it is nowhere near where it should be. Some of these page builders are actually in negative growth in terms of where the free page builders are. Now, I don't know with the paid, so I can't remotely start to take and guess with those type of things. But these growth cycles for these type of page builders, I think we're seeing a trend. So let's break this down even further. Let's look at some Gutenberg trends. So we got Gutenberg here, and as we can see, that's not really growing that much. But then we come over here, and this looks, this is Gitwid, which is another Gutenberg. It's a popular Gutenberg block. And we go over here and we say, well, they're sliding down. They're definitely on a downward trend. But they're on a more positive trend. So they were at 4%, and they're just now hitting a 1.8%. So they've still got a massive growth curve. Obviously, they only have 20,000 installs, so it's not like they're that old of a page builder, and they're only up to version 1.6. But I think this kind of starts to go to show you what's happened with Gutenberg. Let's look at Cadence blocks, and we look at Cadence blocks, and we can kind of see here, they're definitely on a positive trend, and they're definitely in the positive sector. Now, these are only 2 block programs. We could start going through them all, but here's what I think is happening. People are fed up. They're tired of the slowness of page builders. Page builders, we all know, for anyone who's an affiliate marketer or anyone who is anyone in the WordPress community knows that if you can build a website and you do it with Gutenberg, it is going to load tremendously faster than a page builder ever will. These page builders have to get on the ball and start doing improvements to their speed. Now, if we take and we look, we can see that this is a post from Divi. Divi took and improved the page builder, but no, they didn't. They improved the inside of the page builder. So they improved switching to desktop view from 6 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Switching to tablet view from 6.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Switching to smartphone view from 6.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Nobody cares about any of this. I mean, they do. They don't want a slow experience. So they do want things to be faster. But I think one of the bigger problems is people want website performance. They don't care about how the back end runs. Not to say that they don't care, because that's not true. One of the bigger complaints with Oxygen has always been how slow it runs on the back end. But regardless, this goes to show you that some of these page builders are completely out of date with what's going on. By this year, if you do not have a faster site within the Google arena, if you're trying to get on Google or whatever, I think everybody is, you're going to be left in the dust, because Google's going to start ranking speed as a bigger factor than it ever has before. And Google has come out and said that is speed is going to be a factor. Now, we don't know to what extent that speed will be a factor, and we don't know how bad it's going to affect websites that do not have a fast speed. But I can tell you this, the age of a 5-second to 10-second loading website are gone. Those websites will not get ranked on Google in the first site. They just won't. If you've got a website that's that slow, it's going to start falling down in the ranks. You'll never make it to rank 1. It doesn't matter how good your content is. It's just not going to make it to rank 1. I don't see it happening because I think speed is becoming such an important factor for ranking. And it may not happen now. It may not happen this year or next year or anything like that. But I think we're starting to see a shift from page builders, from Elementor to Gutenberg. Now, if you're like me, I don't like Gutenberg. I still don't like Gutenberg to this day. I know there's some people who do. This is a Cadence page, and I wanted to take and show you. Cadence makes some decent blocks. They're probably one of the more decent block builders that's out there. I like it a whole lot more than some of the other block builders. I think their stuff is clean and it works good. It's got some standard features, and it's just really, really good in terms of blocks. But what happens when you start building a page? So let me take you on a road of frustration. Let's call this an about page. Okay? So we're going to publish this page. Just publish it just so we have it. And we're going to choose some blocks from the Cadence menu. So let's choose some blocks and just play with it and see. And I'll show you where the frustration lies. So let's choose this. And we're going to do another row layout. And let's choose another block. Let's choose this. Okay, and we're going to do another one. And let's find another one. Let's choose this. And let's do another row. Let's choose one more. Let's choose one more just to call it. Let's not choose tabs. Let's choose this. Okay. So we've got 4 different blocks that we've loaded onto this page. Here's what I got a problem with. Let's see if this actually works or if I'm going to look stupid. And here's the problem. Do you see an issue with this? This is the ugliest thing that I've ever seen. Now, I reached out to Cadence and I asked them, and they gave me some insightful details about what's going on with this. So apparently WordPress has been lagging on the mobile view side, which is what's causing this, which in fact that's 100% accurate. If you go and you load almost any website into this that isn't a WordPress website, the mobile view is garbage. So in order for you to see what a page looks like, you actually have to go in, you have to copy the page, and you have to go open it in another viewport, like say here, and then we have to view this page alone. So I'm going to open this page by itself. You can do it with Google or whatever. I'm not Google, Inspector or whatever, and then you load it like this, and you can kind of see what it looks like. Still doesn't look good by any means, mobile-wise, but you can see this doesn't represent what we saw earlier. This isn't even remotely what we saw. It looks similar, but the Gutenberg page builder doesn't emulate what you see on the front end. It looks similar, but there's certain things that break. There's certain things that don't work. They are working on this, so they're aware of this. So I don't know what the other builders are doing with this crap, but this is what's driving me nuts. Gutenberg feels like a broken page builder. It feels like a page builder that is very much in the alpha phases, and I commend Cadence for going out of their way and actually taking and building blocks ahead of what needs to be done in Gutenberg to fix the problem, but this drives me nuts. I don't exactly understand why anyone can design in this, because this is so much harder to design. If you pop open a page builder, you can design in mobile. And the mobile first, I'm seeing more and more people on the forums and everything like that who are going to a mobile first design, meaning they design in mobile first and then they switch to desktop to clear everything out. They're not doing the desktop and then to the mobile because they know more people are going up to mobile. And so for me, this is like going back to almost like a 1995 feel where the mobile preview of this is just terrible. Now, I'm sure WordPress is going to fix this at some point, but for me, it feels incomplete. So why does that worry me? If WordPress really is kind of putting it into a page builders. And I think we're going to see it. I do. I really think we're going to see it. I don't know if they're going to ever end page builders. So that's probably the wrong thing to say. Because like I said, I enjoy the experiences of Elementor, Brizy, Oxygen, even Divi more than I enjoy working in Gutenberg. I don't like Gutenberg. I think it's a clunky menu, it's a clunky setup, and I think everybody's jumping on the bandwagon to do it because they know it's the future. As soon as Gutenberg comes out with headers and footers, it's going to start the in-game trend for page builders. I don't care what anyone says. Once you've got native header and footer builder technology in Gutenberg, I'm calling it quits. Like, I don't think that page builders are going to be around forever. I just don't. At least not in the fashion they're in. I think that's why we're seeing a shift with Elementor and Brizy to go into things like the cloud. I mean, Brizy is building their own cloud system, and I think it's very, very intelligent because I think that they're seeing, holy crap, like, you know, I don't know if WordPress is going to be the way to go for us for very long because I don't think that this is going to work. Now, the great thing is people are saying, well, yeah, but you have no control over it. You have no this, you have no that. That's true. You don't. You don't have any control over this whatsoever. You can't change your host. So it's very similar to something like that of Webflow or Squarespace or anything like that. But for anyone who likes the Brizy builder, they like this. There's a lot of people who do like the cloud. It's a great way to build websites for your team. It's a great way to build websites for everything. They're mobile ready. They're nice. It works great. You can get great speed scores on them. I mean, they're good websites. As soon as Brizy starts developing more of the blogging and the WooCommerce and all of that built into it, or should I call it commerce, because it won't be WooCommerce, then it's going to get more impressive because it's going to make people start going to the cloud just because it's going to be such a great deal. So, you know, what is the point of this website? I mean, what is the point of this discussion? So the point of this discussion is not that, you know, page builders are dying, but it's more of the fact that Gutenberg is now taking a lead in the page builder market. They're taking slowly but surely bite-sized chunks out of the page builder market. And if you don't think that when header and footers come out and smart companies like Cadence and smart companies like MotoPress don't start developing those headers and footers, that's going to be it. Once you've got headers, footers, and pop-ups, why do I need a page builder? And that's what people are going to say, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, why do I want this when this is already super fast? And in fact, that's what they're saying right now. Now, to me, once again, this is just my opinion. I still like the page builder experience. I always have, I always will. I think the page builder experience, in the most part, for most page builders, are superior to that of Gutenberg. I don't like the Gutenberg experience. I don't like this layout. I don't like this. And this isn't their fault. This is the way Gutenberg's set up. So I just don't like it. It's a clunky feel. I mean, I wish that I had the experience like I did in Brizy. If they could somehow find a way to combine Gutenberg with some of the aspects of Brizy or Oxygen or something like that, because, well, this is very much like Oxygen, but more like Brizy, where you could see the whole page, and when you hover over something, kind of like this, but take away this part, but somehow manage to fold this into this. I mean, if you could do that, you could just make this design so superior, because you're just looking at the page and you're just clicking on things and you're just adding this and that, and there's little menus that pop up. That just makes everything so much better. Take this away, or at least make it to where I can take it away. Maybe I don't need to adjust these settings. Maybe I could adjust more of these settings in here. I mean, that's what I'd like to see, but it's just not there yet for me, and this is too clunky for me as a whole. Now, like I said, Cadence is improving this, so I am going to wait to see what Cadence does. But some of the other Gutenberg page builders that are out there, I've just given up on them because I've been so disappointed with the quality of the blocks and everything and how they work. I just didn't like them. I just didn't like them at all. And I mean, it's yet to see. If we ever see a Gutenberg block that looks something like Brizy, where you're going in and you've got this type of development, I don't know. it really could be the end of page builders. I mean, something like that would totally destroy page builders as a whole if you could do something like that. They've still got the side, but it's just not as in your face as Gutenberg is. That's just my opinion, but that's what I think. Let me know down below, what do you guys think? Like I said, I'm seeing more and more people wanting more and more Gutenberg tutorials, and they're asking for Gutenberg tutorials and how do you do this and how do you do this. And I think that it's only going to grow. So I think that, Gutenberg builders, similar to Cadence and similar to the MotoPress, they're just going to get more and more popular, and I don't see it stopping. They're already at 90,000 active installs. They're technically just this is already beating Brizzy. It's on its way to beat Beaver Builder. It probably won't take that long. They're not going to reach Site Origin or Elementor anytime soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year this number skyrockets, because I think Gutenberg's only going to get stronger and stronger as it goes. And part of me can't help but feel a little bit scared about that. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping everything ends up working out. I definitely like the direction that some of these block builders are going. I just don't like the experience inside. I wish this experience was so much better. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Let me know about your experience, and I will see you guys next time.